One of the revelations that has been given by Max Bryan is that these guys used to work for how many days per week? 7 days per week, and they start their job at 7 and they end their job at probably 5 to 5:30. And Max Bryan was the only trained horse trainer. The rest, they used to work, it's Monday, it's Tuesday, let's just go and work and get the paycheck. So Max Bryan used to have a lot of hard time because he's passionate about the horses, but the guys he's working with is more like, they kind of feel like they're being forced. Now, I am shocked because I used to hear a lot of people say that I am Marwa forces people to work like, it's a modern, I would actually call it modern day slavery, because there's no way somebody can work for 7 days per week. There's no way someone can work for 7 days per week. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And there's no way somebody's supposed to work beyond 8 hours. You're supposed to work, if you're working from 8, it has gone to be 8 up to 1, and then you take a 1 hour break, lunch break, and then you come and finish with a 3 hours, so 8 to 5 or something like that, with 1 hour lunch break. And that has to be between Monday to Friday. And then on Saturday, in most companies, because I've also worked for a company, you have to work, it's half day. You have to work for probably 5 hours and then you take a break. It's a weekend. Now, what has been revealed by Max Bryan is totally exploitation. And if all the employees working for I Am Marwa, they work for 7 days per week, that is modern day slavery, and that's very wrong. Now, for all those people, for all those subscribers who support I Am Marwa, for all those cult members who support I Am Marwa, honestly, you need to speak to your guy, because there's no way someone can be employing people to work for 7 days per week without a pay. I mean, he used to get paid, but 7 days per week, honestly, no break. And you're here whining all the time, like, oh, I wanted to take him I wanted to talk to the police. I wanted to get him arrested. I'm actually trying to talk to him so that he can pay for the horses. I am worried you got no manners. That is reckless. That is so reckless, honestly. That's abusing. That's human rights. That's abusing your power. I Am Marwa. How would people work like that without, you're not even you're not paying them overtime? I Am Marwa always speaks about working. He always talks about, I pay them, I give them food, I give them shelter, but he does not talk about how he violates the people he employs. So every good deed he does, like I said in another video, it's never done, it's done, with a hidden agenda in it. He does things for PR, by the way. Now I'm starting to believe that he does things for PR, because how do you allow people to work for 7 days per week without taking a break? That's unheard of. That's so wrong.
I get a lot of calls and
threats.
One reason that made me do a video with GT is because doing a video on my own, I didn't have the courage and the strength to do
to speak up.
I've been getting a lot of threats, calls, just a lot of people telling me not to. That's why you see I am not yet.
No.
But again, I didn't deserve what I deserved.
You see now,
as a name.
4 guys.
That was me, Matata.
Matata, the driver?
Yeah.
Oh. Who else?
The other 2 guys.
Yeah. Damn. So there's a comment here. Max, tell us, did Marwa pay you any salary at all? Or how many months did you work there?
I worked November,
Mhm.
or the November,
Mm.
the month of November, and I stopped working at date 8 when the accident happened. But
I
so
mean,
I worked for Marwa for
No, I'm still following up on that interview with JT with Max Bryan, and all I can say is, if going by what Max Bryan is revealing here, if Marwa, that's what you did, that's so reckless of you, and you're not going to go far. You're gonna have to change. You will have to change, whether you like it or you don't like it. You're gonna have to change. First of all, you need to register a company so that company, now you start realizing that you have to follow the law. Because how do you keep on threatening a guy every time? How can you keep on threatening a person? He was involved in an accident. He's owning up to his mistakes. He accepts he made a mistake. And he has moved on. Why aren't you moving on, bro? Why aren't you moving on? Why do you want to keep this guy hostage? Why aren't you moving on? This guy is receiving calls and threats all the time. And that would be considered a cybercrime. I'm sorry, Marwa, man. You need to do better. Just because you have a huge following doesn't mean that you cannot. It does not mean that you cannot be held accountable. You should be held accountable. And everyone who is supporting you should feel ashamed of themselves. That's not the way you're supposed to be. All those Jamaicans and Canadians and whoever who is supporting you and telling you to keep on doing what you're doing, shame them. Shame on them. How can you treat somebody like that? How would you feel if David Jr. was treated like that? How do you feel when the Odaris family name is being dragged on the mud? Why can't you let Max Bryan be? Must you keep on complaining about him and doing all that nonsense and making calls, and then you come here and start acting like an angel? That's BS. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Going by if, and I'm saying if, what Max Bryan is revealing on that JT podcast, then you come off as a very ruthless, arrogant, and a foolish individual. If I go by what he has said, then if that's not the truth, then I retract my words. But if it's what he's saying is the truth, bro, even if you were to go and start a case, it's going to go nowhere. And on this one, we will stand with our Kenyan brother. Forget about the guy you are partnering with. Bro, you will pay. You will use money. You will use money and money and money and money. You're going to be throwing money in a pit. You cannot mistreat our Kenyan young men and expect that that's going to go unpunished. Karma is a bitch. Karma is going to come, and I hope karma is not going to take holiday this time around, because you cannot treat somebody like that. Like every time this guy is just being threatened, he feels threatened all the time. Even when he's speaking with a lot of fear. And you feel just because you have a very huge following, because you have cult members all over, that you can walk over everybody. It's not supposed to be like that. You need to understand at your level, you're going to have to behave. And trust you me, social media, there's nothing you can do to Max Bryan at this moment. He has a backing like no other. There's nothing you can do to Max Bryan. Take it to the bank. You will do nothing to that guy. You will do absolutely nothing to that guy. You take him to the police and you'll find out. People will call you out on that one. People will call you out on that one. You will absolutely do nothing to him. That guy was asked a question. Are you in fear? And he said, yes, I am in fear. Why would you put such a guy in such a situation? An accident happened, it's an accident. Do what you need to do. Was your house insured? No, it was not insured. Was your employees insured? I don't know. Did you have a contract with your employee? That one we do not know, and we are gonna need to know. If you want us to solve these things online, fine. You have more to lose than Max Bryan. Max Bryan can still have a job as a horse trainer. He's passionate. And guess what? You did good, because Max Bryan also has a channel. He can always express himself. And what you did to him, turns out it's a blessing in disguise. So I do not understand how you come off, you disguise yourself as a very kind person, as a very kind-hearted person. Yet, the things you're doing in the village, and the things you're doing to people, and especially when it comes to labor laws, they do not coincide with the character, with the PR that you're trying to portray here. I'm sorry, man. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Don't you learn from your brother Wodemaya? Don't you see how he treats people? Don't you see how he interacts with people? Don't you learn from him? Can't you pick up lessons and, what you need to learn from him moving forward? That was so uncalled for. I'm so pissed off, man. I am so pissed off. Because you cannot treat any other human being like that and expect to walk scot-free. The revelations we are having from that episode in JT Podcast reveals a lot about your character. Now it makes me believe that what people have been saying about you could be true. We've seen you do a lot of great things and a lot of good things. But the question is, do you do those great things to kind of ensure that you have a good reputation, or do you do them out of a genuine heart, or do you do them for something else? And that's one of the questions that we are having as people. Because what Max Bryan is revealing, man, shameless, bro, shameless.
Who was there like an authority?
No,
the chief?
There was no authority. It's just him and some guys like Tarifa and some Dan, those guys.
Yeah.
Just there.
So Marwa and his boys were there to supervise you to write an agreement down.
No, that was Marwa himself. Yeah. Read the contract there. So, say that you hired my house and you are going to compensate, and if you're not going to do so, I'm going to call police for you.
Oh,
so out of me being scared and all that, I'm hurted. I'm in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
So I just did it very fast, and yeah.
So let me get this clear. You have money. The person you employed stays at your home. A horse gets injured in an accident, and the best thing you could do is fire that person. Actually, chase that person from the villa. And as you chase that person, you first of all make sure that they sign a contract in agreeing that they're going to pay for that house. They're going to compensate every treatment. And you also make a threat. Actually, that's not a threat. You blackmail that person, and you demand that if they do not pay for all the treatment charges for all the bills involved in the treatment, you're going to tarnish their name. And as if that's a joke, you end up tarnishing his name by making false claims that he was fired in his previous premises where he used to work, and that he had a similar incident whereby he injured another horse. Now that's called a smear campaign. I am Marwa. You have used your platform God blessed you with a lot of subscribers. Well, you're not growing, but God had already blessed you with a lot of subscribers, and you're using your audience to tarnish another man's name. For what? How does that benefit you? How do you gain? Do you realize that we are living in the 21st century? Everything you do is being recorded. To him who much is given, much is expected. And I am Marwa. I thought perhaps you know better. Max Bryan has just done an interview at JT's podcast. And in that interview, he has revealed a lot of information. First of all, how would you even allow 4 grown men to live in one room? 4 grown men to live under one shelter, in the name that they sleep where I sleep, they eat what I eat, but they never slept like you. They did not enjoy the luxury that Rocio's family was enjoying. And this is the reason as to why people are even enjoying watching Rocio more than they do your content. People are loving the clapback by Rocio, claiming that, she would have still made it without you. And guess what, brother? Karma is karma. Karma is going to come and bite you hard. How would you treat another human being like that? What warrants you? What makes you feel that you people are so powerful? You can do whatever you want to do. At the end of the day, nothing is going to happen. And you wonder why you're going to stagnate at a particular position. You wonder why people are buying land without even telling you. You wonder why people are betraying you. It's because of such behaviors. How would you treat a human being like that? That was so unprofessional. And tell you what, one thing I'm so sure is that Max Bryan is not going to pay even a dime in that. Remember, this is the social media era. This is a war you're not going to win. Sometimes people fall in love with the villain. And in this case, Max Bryan is the villain. And to make matters worse, who is Getrifa first of all? Who is Getrifa first of all? How does Getrifa even know? Now those are the people you walk around with and you expect to grow. You hang out with villagers. Well, they're human beings, you can hang out with them. But then, the quality of education, the quality of maturity, what do they have that makes you feel you can hang out with them? Because what we've witnessed in that revelation shows the true character of you, Marwa. Your true character outside of the camera is something that is so pathetic and disgusting, to say the least. You don't ever treat another human being like that, and you wonder why your employees keep on leaving. Nobody want to work with you. It's because of such traits. You do not behave like a person who's been in school the other time, and guess what? You keep on dragging people through the court cases, arrest and all those things. Those things are going to come and bite you hard. And this is an honest opinion. The way you treated Max Bryan is so inhuman. That was so inhuman. And Getrifa has the audacity. He has the audacity to call Max Bryan, who is recapitulating, and ask him to pay the money. And you guys threatened him that you're going to arrest him. Pathetic. Nothing but pathetic.
It's now blowing my mind. It's blowing my head because, I'm thinking that when you are being hired for the job, this guy didn't think about giving you a written contract that you can write from today, this day of this month, this year. Me as Max, I'm assuming the job today that I will be working on this pay or these hours and this and that. And in case of ABC to Z, this is what will happen.
That's the Swamp King for you guys. That's the Swamp King for you guys. Abusing all the labor laws and retaining the employees, and you expect anything big. No. Have a good night for this one. I'm based. Subscribe.